Hey guys, Dan the Mustang Doctor, here to talk today about ghost cam tuning and what that is. There's a ton of misconceptions out there about how the ghost cam works. A lot of people think it's kind of a joke or a gimmick. They think it's hard on the engine. And I'm here to kind of show you guys today why it's not, how it works, and what Ford's done to really ensure these kind of things can work well on cars. So without further ado, I'm just going to kind of jump in. I'm going to actually kind of show you guys what the tune software side looks like as well, because I think that'll help explain some of the misconception around how the ghost cam tune works and if it's safe or if it's not safe for my car. Essentially, one thing I'll point out is what Ford does is they've built the new Coyote engines and PCMs with a ton of different map points and tables on spark ignition timing, torque management, and then variable cam timing, which is what we're going to talk about today. They've got over 27 different tables on each one of those. So there's millions of tables in here and how these are set up. And basically, one of the interesting things is essentially how this ghost cam tune is built is we're just actually taking the intake and exhaust cam and we're just degreeing the angles by a little bit to get some overlap. And that's how you get that chop, that old-fashioned cam chop. And the old-fashioned cams that had overlap essentially. And the nice thing about this is, like I said, Ford has 27 different tables, if you guys can see that right there, built right into these. And each one of the tables is set up to operate in a different environment or different condition. So they've got tables for optimal idle condition, which is going to give you the best fuel mileage, the smoothest idle. They've got tables for wide open throttle, tables for manual launch distance, like I said, fuel economy. And essentially what you're doing is we're looking for a table within these 27 different tables that's got the right amount of overlap. And to do that, we want 0 degrees of exhaust cam timing, and we want -20 degrees of intake cam timing. And the reason why that's safe, guys, is I'm just going to flip over to the tune itself. And essentially these are the 27 different map points for exhaust, and then we've got our IMRC in the middle, and then our intake map points at the bottom. So Ford has pre-built all of these map points in the Ford PCM, in the Coyote engine. And basically what they're doing is they're using these map point HDFX distance tables to command the different timing angles for exhaust and intake. And so if you look in here, this is our map point for distance. This is where we're going to set. Once we find the right map point that's got the right overlap that we're looking for, this is where we're going to call that map point in the tune. Essentially looking for that overlap of 0 degrees on exhaust and -20 on intake. And once we find that, we're going to command that table essentially in the tune at idle. And that's where you're going to get that chop at idle, and you got to hold it in there. There's going to be a lot of other things that you'll need to do to make this work, but just to kind of give you guys the high level overview to kind of explain ghost cam tuning. Looking back at what Ford built in here, you can see these are the different map points, the different cam timing tables that Ford is using for emissions reduction, fuel economy, launch distance, stability distance, which is what we're going to really command here in a minute. But even if you go into fuel economy table, I think it is, they're using, if you can see these right up here, they're using tables 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 19, 20, 21, and 25 all the way through. I thought I saw 26, maybe not. Nope, just 25. But if you look at table 25 over here and what they've pre-built, we've got positive 27 degrees on the exhaust, but on the intake side, on table 25, we've got -20 degrees of cam timing. So this is a table being used by Ford in the car factory. So like I said, there's a lot of other tables used. Some have overlap, some don't. It just depends on the application and the environmental condition that Ford's commanding it for. But essentially all we're doing is going in and grabbing one of the tables that's got overlap, which we ended up finding on table 24. Again, table 24 already built by Ford and set up in the system. 0 degrees of exhaust cam timing, and on the intake side, -20 degrees of intake cam timing. So that's an overlap. That's what's going to give us the chop that I'm going to show you guys here in a minute, that everybody's looking for with a cam chop. And it's essentially the same concept of adding cams to your car, where you're getting that overlap at idle. The best part about the Ghost Cam tune though is as soon as you get above 1,000 RPMs, it commands back at the normal distance tables, and your car drives as though it never had a Ghost Cam or a cam at all, which is fantastic. So I think the technology is really neat that Ford set up in here. It's obviously extremely safe to run on. Ford built these tables to begin with, and we're just commanding the one with the right overlap at idle, essentially. All right, guys, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments or send me a message.